Hi, this is Regina Davis, NARUC Communications Director. I'm here in downtown Indianapolis, Indiana at NARUC's 2019 Summer Policy Summit. Joining me today is Commissioner Maida Coleman of the Missouri Public Service Commission and Chair of the Committee on Consumers and the Public Interest and Vice Chair Obie Linton of the Maryland Public Service Commission. Thank you both for joining me today.
Thank you so much for the invitation.
So this morning we had a very interesting and phenomenal experience for NARUC. You hosted our very first poverty simulation. Now, can you tell me a little bit about the poverty simulation, what you hope to achieve with that, and how it came about?
Well, I will brag a little bit about how it came about because the Missouri Community Action Agencies created this poverty simulation. And the goal of it is to allow people from all aspects of life and regulatory experiences to understand what a person goes through that's poor. Be that a person that is a regulator, someone in industry, people who come from the consumer advocacy and nonprofit part of this. And the goal is to put them in the shoes of a person that has challenges on a regular basis, from everything in attempts to have a job, be homeless, have no food. And the goal was to show what it's like to be poor.
Thank you. And in terms of trying to reach that objective, we went through this simulation by allowing each of the participants to take on the role of a family, be they a child, elderly individual, parent, teenager, and had them live through a short period of time in the life of a person who's got financial challenges. Just 12 minutes making up the course of a week. And it's very interesting to see what that short period of time did in terms of immersing our participants into that moment for poverty-stricken individuals.
So you say 12 minutes. Can you explain, because I don't want our viewers to think that the entire experience was 12 minutes, because this took a few hours this morning.
Absolutely. So the participants went through a simulated month. So during the course of the month, it was 12 minutes per week. And during that time, so you had 4 weeks, 12 minutes per week. During that period of time, you had to do all of the things that you would normally do as an individual with some financial challenges. You have to obtain food, you have to pay bills, you have to have your son or daughter or children go to school, take care of medical challenges, all of those different issues. And so there's challenges with transportation, there's challenges with cashing paychecks, there's challenges with buying food, all of the different things that many of us have to go through. But it becomes that much more difficult when the resources that we rely on day to day, and in some cases are readily available for us, are suddenly not there.
Okay, so I'll start with you, Commissioner Coleman. You had very high goals for this. So how did the experience match your expectations?
Well, first of all, we sold out. The simulation was over-registered for. We had folks lined up to participate, and it met our expectations. The goal that I wanted folks to walk away with was to really feel and understand the challenges that are experienced by people every day. I believe that one of my other highest goals was the mix of people, commissioners, those who make the regulatory decisions, staff from some utility commissions, corporate leaders, utility leaders, and of course nonprofits and community action agencies. So we had across the board every group of persons or people that participate here at NARUC, someone from each category participated this morning.
And Commissioner Linton, what would you like to add to that? What about your expectations?
Well, I was hoping that all of our participants and our volunteers who serve as the bank managers, for example, and teachers and community association or community advisor operators, I wanted everybody to kind of immerse themselves into that experience for a short period of time. We hear about it often, especially in the energy industry. We hear about it through consumer complaints, through elected officials contacting us, telling us about the challenges of a particular constituent, or even through our consumer advocacy organizations. And it's oftentimes you hear about it, it's in the form of a letter or a call or phone call, and then we have to move on to something else.
Right.
And it's not always that easy to truly understand what the impact is on that individual consumer's life. I mean, the number of layers of effort that consumer would have had to go through for the message to reach a utility commissioner, for example, is significant. And so my hope as I was listening to this and participating in the conference today I was hoping that the participants had the opportunity to see that the effort that it took just to even get noticed was significant, and that so when we hear that information, I'm hopeful that it'll inform the decisions that the commissioners make and that the consumer advocates and staff members will engage in as they go back to their particular states. That'll help them to make decisions that are a little more sensitive and a little more understanding about what else is happening that's not sitting in front of them at the time.
Okay, so were there any surprises?
It's always surprising to me that how significant such a short period of time, the experience can be so significant in such a short period of time. So now we're only in there for a couple hours, but you had people that even hours later are still talking about it,
Yes.
about what happened to them, and the just for a few moments they served as a senior citizen or as a child or as a person with a medical disability, and just for 12 minutes had to walk around and worry about someone stealing their check, or someone attempting to tell them information that wasn't accurate, or not getting information or help at all.
Right.
And so in just that short period of time, they felt it, and it resonated with a lot of people. And to me, that's kind of what we were going for. That hopefully that resignation, that it'll continue to ring all the way through for them, and it'll carry them back into their particular states, and it'll stay with them as they make new decisions about different issues.
Okay, and any surprises for you, Commissioner Coleman?
I believe what was surprising to me was very similar to Commissioner Linton's take on it. The immediacy that it seemed that people realized that I must survive, and the realness of it. Even a family member, husband and wife, who said, we gave up. We tried to, get food and pay our mortgage, and just in the end gave up and decided to just sit there. It's real, the feelings that people took from this. And of course, 4 12-minute segments, and it was like real life to so many. So that was a big surprise to me. I expected them to experience something, but they assimilate it so quickly.
Right, right. So what is the real take-home message for our state regulators?
Well, I guess for me, the thing I'm hoping that commissioners will take home, when you are making decisions about anything in our industry, and we have to keep in mind that those decisions are impacting all of our constituents, the ones that are in front of us, that are represented by counsel, that have the opportunity to present their arguments to the commission in a more formalized manner, and those other consumers that don't even know who we are and what we do. And oftentimes it's easy to not think about the people who are paying the bills every month when they receive them. Those are the customers that don't read the inserts. They just rip open the bill, look how much they owe, and just send the money in.
Right.
But there are plenty of customers who can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
And so we don't want to think that they're just lazy or they're not interested or they don't want to participate, that there's a significant web of other challenges out there that are impacting the decisions they make. And that's not to make an excuse for them, but to have us as commissioners be sensitive to the fact that our decisions are reaching everybody, and not just the ones we see in front of us, not just the ones that can represent themselves, but even customers that will just drive by at the street, when we're on our way into the office, or in some cases they may be just standing there on the side of the road. So there's a broader community that we don't always think about. And so I'm hopeful that as commissioners return back to their states, or even talk to other commissioners here throughout the course of NARUC about the simulation and the experience that they've had, that's what they'll share. They'll say that there's a lot more out there that we don't see every day that's not even part of the utility industry, but is a significant portion of what we do, and what we do is impacted by what else is happening. And so hopefully if they're a little more sensitive to it, then I think it's already been successful, but I think it would be specifically successful.
And Commissioner Coleman, for you, what do you think regulators should take from this experience?
That we all have a variety of experiences that bring us to where we are, and those folks who don't have the capability to speak for themselves, in all our states they have representatives. In my state it's the Office of Public Counsel. They're speaking through those entities that represent them in front of we commissioners. As a result, I would like commissioners to think outside the box. What is it that the public advocates are coming to us with that make real sense, and pilot programs that might be useful, that we don't automatically turn an ear against, but pay attention. I'd like commissioners to think outside the box and see what we can be doing to help all of the people that we represent on a state level.
Well, thank you both so much for your efforts and your leadership in the committee, and also thank you so much for bringing this wonderful exercise to our NARUC Summer Policy Summit.
Thank you so much, Regina.
And if I could, I think both Chair Coleman and I would be remiss if we didn't acknowledge the hard work of all of the volunteers, and in particular Charlene Ketchum, who's the chair of our staff subcommittee, who did a fantastic job at putting in organizing this and putting it together. And thanks also to NARUC for sponsoring this and allowing it to even occur during the course of the summer session.
Well, it's all in an effort to collectively serve the public interest, and you all do such a great job at that. Thank you again.
Thank you so much.